It's 8 minutes past 11. You are listening to the Mid-Morning Talk on Salam Media with me, Maryam Mkwanda. Students from across the world call on universities to divest from Israeli war crimes and apartheid. On Wednesday, 23rd March, students from over 70 universities across the world will hold demonstrations on campuses and email their vice chancellors calling for a full withdrawal of investments in companies complicit in Israeli war crimes and apartheid. To tell us more, we have Dr. Charlotte Elizabeth from Friends of Aqsa talking about this International Day of Student Action. Good morning, Dr. Charlotte, and thank you for joining me.
Good morning, Maryam. Thank you for having me.
All right, so first of all, give us a little bit of a background. Who is Friends of Aqsa, and what are your aims and objectives?
So Friends of Aqsa, or FOA, is a Leicester, UK-based NGO, and we work on defending the rights of Palestinians.
Now, since its establishment, how has Friends of Al-Aqsa stepped in to help the Palestinians?
So we run a variety of campaigns, everything from boycotting companies like Coca-Cola and HP who are complicit in apartheid, to also divestments with the students, and also calling on the government for sanctions on Israel.
All right. Now, what is the International Day of Student Action all about?
So today we've got students at over 70 universities from across the world calling on their institutions to divest, so withdraw investment from companies who are complicit in Israeli apartheid. So the main four companies that students are focusing on are Rolls-Royce, BAE Systems, HP, Hewlett-Packard, and Booking.com. And students are organising demonstrations on campus, and they're launching email campaigns to their vice chancellors, calling on the institutions to withdraw investments in these companies.
Right. So, according to the statement that was released by FOA, or Friends of Al-Aqsa, Bookings.com advertises accommodation in illegal Israeli settlements or on land stolen from Palestinians. I don't know how many people know of this.
Yeah, I think it's something that actually we don't know very much about, but one of the aims of our campaign is to try and make people more aware. We actually have a campaign that runs all about Booking.com, because Booking.com continues, yes, to advertise accommodation in illegal Israeli settlements on land stolen from Palestinians. And today we're trying to encourage universities to withdraw their investments and their links and academic ties with Booking.com, because of its complicity in the illegal occupation of Palestine and Israeli apartheid.
So obviously this is not the first time that you are doing this here and trying to convince vice chancellors to withdraw their investments. Has it been successful before?
Yes, so we had a campaign back in November, the first Divest for Palestine Day of Action on campus. That took place at 35 universities, mainly in the UK. This time we're at 70 universities across the whole world. We've got different students, different universities taking part in the UK, but also in the Netherlands, in the USA, in Canada, Italy, and Belgium. And the aim of today is to encourage universities to divest. And we're hoping that universities will follow in the footsteps of the University of Manchester. So in 2020, a successful divestment campaign there led to Manchester divesting nearly £2 million from companies complicit in the illegal occupation of Palestine. So we're hoping that the same thing will happen at some of our universities that students are protesting, demonstrating, and launching email campaigns in today.
So can you please give us some insight as to how protest actions help with the plight of people in Palestine?
So I think particularly on campus, there are quite a lot of students who might not know a lot about what's happening in Palestine. And a lot of the demonstrations that are taking place are happening in the main university buildings, or in the forums, or outside these main buildings at centres like the library. And students walking past get to learn a little bit about what's going on. They get to learn a bit more about what's happening in Palestine, about the illegal occupation. And we're seeing more and more movement from students on this. The student movement for Palestine is getting stronger and stronger. and students are putting more and more pressure on their universities to divest. So I think it's all about raising awareness and then students joining in with those email campaigns and putting that extra pressure on vice chancellors.
Mm-hmm. And what can the rest of us do? I mean, we are here and we're not at university, so how do we participate?
Yeah, so we've got a whole range of campaigns, and I think that getting involved with targeting, like Booking.com, for example, doesn't have to be just a university thing. Things like boycotting Coca-Cola, boycotting products from HP. Next time you need a new laptop, buy something other than Hewlett-Packard. Hewlett-Packard, in particular, provides the technology that's used at Israel's checkpoints, and that's a key part of the occupation of Palestine. So making simple steps to choose Pepsi over Coca-Cola, to choose a product that isn't HP, and other boycotting campaigns that we're running, that's a really effective way to kind of put pressure on these companies to stop being complicit in war crimes and apartheid.
All right. Thank you so much for your time and for breaking that down for us. We'll catch up with you once again and find out how it went.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Dr. Charlotte Elizabeth from the Friends of AlAqsa, taking us through the students from across the world calling on universities to divest from Israeli war crimes and apartheid. I'll just read out the statement: embargoed until 11 a.m. on Wednesday. It's 11:15 already. Students will focus on universities' investments in companies such as Rolls-Royce, BAE, HP, and Booking.com. Rolls-Royce and BAE produce the weapons used to attack Palestinians living under blockade in Gaza, and HP provides the technology used at Israel's checkpoints. Booking.com advertises accommodation in illegal Israeli settlements on land stolen from Palestinians. Manal says, how can our vice chancellor think it's acceptable to invest money in companies involved in war crimes? That's a Manal at Nottingham. Seema at Warwick says, as students at Warwick, we're appalled that money from this campus goes into sustaining an apartheid state. We call on our vice chancellor to divest from these companies without hesitation. Earlier this week, 25 prominent academics signed an open letter to universities worldwide to divest for Palestine. Signatories included Professor Gilbert Akar from SOAS, Professor Ilan Pape, Exeter, Professor Robin D.G. Kelly, UCLA, Professor Emerita Caroline Rooney, Kent, and Professor Mohammed El Gomati, OBE, New York. Shamiul Jorda, head of public affairs at FOA, says that the government is currently trying to suppress our freedom by boycott, divest from, and sanction Israel. But the hashtag Divest for Palestine campaign shows that students and academics, along with the rest of the British public, are increasingly showing that they've got no tolerance for complicity in Israeli war crimes and apartheid. Student action across the country will be united under the hashtag Divest for Palestine on social media on Wednesday, 23rd March 2022, and you can check that out and participate as well. It is 11:17. You are listening to the Mid Morning Talk on Salam Media. Please stay with us.